keys to the blockchain breeze. He's live every day, decode the mazing. JJ's cryptic corner, where the coins keep turning. Log in now, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow, crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Sunday. How's everyone doing today? Guys, Bitcoin currently trading at $70,266.94. Silver up 3.95% on the day. And gold up 0.81% on the day. Looking good. Let's see. Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy Super Bowl Sunday. I assume most of you guys are watching the Super Bowl, so I'm probably going to keep this brief to not keep you guys away from the game if you're here at all. Otherwise, you can watch it later. Bitcoin, looking good. We are above 70K, which is ideal. Let's go take a look at our liquidation heat map and see where we're at. Drummer says, don't forget to like and subscribe, everyone. Appreciate you, Drummer. Happy Sunday, my friend. All right, let's see what we got here. Weekend liquidity. Took a little bit of the bears out. 69,862. 69,862. And to the upside, we've got 71,002. And then to the downside, the bottom of the bottom, we've got, I guess I'll go right here, 68,153. And then the tippity top, we've got, I'll go right here, 73,281. Not too much, obviously. Weekend liquidity, we know what to expect on the weekends. Usually relatively dry as far as liquidity goes. We have our RSI meeting with our moving average, which is, let's see, right under 50. Yeah, we're going to bounce. Does look like it's holding it as support somewhat. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Bitcoin getting a little bullish for a quick moment, coming back down. We do have a red dot in the momentum wave point at the downside. I understand that Coinbase advertised during the Super Bowl halftime show, or during the Super Bowl, not the halftime show specifically. Joe As Adventure said, I vote everything crashes because it happens all the time. That does seem like the easiest answer. Bitcoin dominance, struggling to get back above 59.5 for the second time right here. This will be rejection number 2 if it does work out. That might work in our favor for altcoins. Time will tell. Everything else there looks good. ETH down 1.1% on the day, currently trading at 2,066.9.8. Breaking below that moving average, but not crashing. Let's see if it holds above 2K. Joe As Adventure said Jordan now updated his chart for bottom in October. I guess 35 to 45K is low. How come everyone's just straight up copying this? Like, I understand, but at that point, just say that this guy was right. Why do you gotta claim it as your own? You know what I mean? That Pulse Player said, Ray up another 40% today. If you know, you know. Let's go take a look at Ray. It's doing really good. let's take a look. It does look good, 22%. Look at that. Look at that, man. We literally called this bottom. We literally called that. I don't know when the last time we looked at this was, but I was like, look at this trend line. Is it going to do this? It might actually do that. This is wrapped ETH. Am I psycho enough to buy any of this? Tishu said, is there a poor man's Larson line indicator? I don't know what that is. I would ask Grok, maybe. Let's ask. Well, you can ask. I don't know how to word it specifically. This does look good. Obviously, that trend line's holding really well. And it hasn't really seen these prices since it broke down in November. So, you got 3 months. 3 months of choppy sideways accumulation. Actually looks decent. All right. Solana's down 1.08% on the day, currently trading at 86.05. Let's see. Everything else kind of has like a little triangle situation going on. And Solana doesn't necessarily have that. Well, I guess ETH doesn't really either. Or Bitcoin. Maybe I lied. Maybe I lied. Let's see. 85.49. Can we hold 80? 82.47 is going to be a little bit important, but not too much. We are crossing bearish over that moving average on the RSI. 88 Metals Mania said, hey fellas, a lot of you guys here. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Is the Super Bowl over? Am I crazy? JY's Avenger said, Pulse. Look at Banker. It's about to make new all-time high in these market conditions. And Banker on Coinbase. Teach said Larson line is the indicator CTO Larson created. I know, but Banker for my months now. Are you guys okay? Are you guys okay? Oh, I know about. Okay, I'm not okay. Wow. My bad. Dang. Okay. Yeah, Solana. We did get a bearish, where we're maybe possibly getting a bearish cross over that moving average. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see what this close looks like in a couple hours. It's all going to be psychological right now with numbers, specifically RSI struggling to get above 50. JJ shows greater than football. Thank you very much for that. That's actually crazy that you just said that. I can't believe you just said that. My uber bearish guess for total 3. We got 711 billion. For my guess and current price, 709.04 billion. Same situation here with that RSI and the moving average. Not a whole lot going on. We're going to have to wait for Monday to see what happens. JWS Adventure said, I don't care about no Super Bowl. I thought about betting on it. I was thinking about it. My crypto coins just can't go up. So yeah, total 3. Same situation as everything else. I would like to see more recovery out of this, to be completely honest. I'm a little concerned that all these big wigs are calling for further downside in the stock market. Contrary to that, though, stocks opened relatively green today. At least futures did. Maybe not in the NASDAQ. But silver and gold look great. Silver's up 4.08%, trading at $81.11. Gold up 0.61%, trading at $49.96. I did see an alert from the Kobayashi letter that silver got above 5K again. Obviously, it was brief, but JWS Venture said, and I'm trying to get rich AF. Heck yeah. Join the club, buddy. All right. ADA, not much to talk about. This thing's just as flatlined as ETH, Sol, and Bitcoin. SNEC down 1.29%. Looking a little hesitant here. But I do like the strength coming out of this dip. That made me very proud, I guess. Proud to be a SNEC holder. This one and then this one. Both of them basically more than erasing the downside. Can we get some TA on Banker, please? Yes, you absolutely can. BNKR. Banker coin. Which I feel like I've looked at this before. Oh, maybe you can't. Maybe it's too new. It might be too new. Banker coin. Oh, hang on. Okay, is that the same one? That is the same one. Interesting. Okay, so CoinX, BingX, FemeX. This is the one. Okay, this is the one that we've looked at before. I got it. All right, so you had... Now, this is what I like. This is what I've explained before, and this actually played out perfectly. I'm assuming it played out after we looked at this. You had a wedge. Beautiful symmetrical triangle wedge kind of situation right there. I always talk about this with crypto specifically. The first move is the false move on a wedge. I don't know why. That's just what we've experienced. This thing broke down. Everyone and their mother was probably like, load up on shorts. It's about to go down. And then it went boop and just insta-wrecked. Everyone trying to short it. So you got your breakdown, your little liquidity sweep around 4.0004. Got back above 4986 and established some volume right here in between 5.5 and 6 and then blasted off. Currently sitting at 90.50. Are you going to get above 1/10 of a penny? Going to be your next milestone, big psychological level. Obviously, it was incredibly overbought right here. I like the wick right here. That's a big deal. Some serious buying pressure. Followed by that red candle, though. People were taking profits, so. Tisha said, I can't stay. See you guys tomorrow. Hope JJ can stream earlier. Earlier tomorrow? Probably not. Maybe earlier than 8, but yeah, we'll see. Cheers. Take it easy, Tish. Appreciate you. Happy Sunday, my friend. Tomorrow's going to be a fun week. Tomorrow, it's going to be a fun week. This week's going to be a fun week. But yeah, banker. I guess at this point, look for maybe a flag. Maybe you do one of these if it is really bullish, and then see if it breaks up or down. But keep an eye on it for sure. Obviously, if you do pull back here, look for 7.5 as a psychological retest level. See if you bounce off of that. But yeah, you might have to pull back. Although, I guess right here you were incredibly overbought, and it just went up further. So that's entirely possible as well. The siren's going off here, and I think I've explained this 100 times when I was at my old setup. But we used to have a regular, like, tornado siren that they test every Sunday. They, like, changed it to, like, a World War era, like, World War II era, like, nuclear siren, and it's so creepy now. It literally is, like, creeps me out every time it goes off. Okay, XRP is down 0.23. This thing's lingering as well. I guess this looks slightly more structural than everything else. I don't know what it is. You can actually kind of draw some confluence here. Volume could be better. I don't know. I'd like to see, I suppose, what Monday looks like. As of right now, we're kind of guessing. Everything looks okay. Yeah, RSI smack dab in the middle, holding above that moving average, which is good. On Bitcoin, ETH, trying to hold above that moving average, smack dab in the middle as well. Solana, same thing as ETH. It's kind of a guessing game right now, guys. We have to see what Monday brings. Tuesday, they're allegedly meeting for the Clarity Act again. So that's going to be a big point of conversation, I guess I'll call it. I still don't know if the Clarity Act is going to do anything. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's going to change the game, but so is everything else, so who knows. Avalanche sitting at 0, currently trading at $9.08. 0 for up or down percentage wise on the day. We're holding 9, which is nice. 9 seems to be nice, strong support. We did get a bearish cross over the moving average in the RSI today, actually. We'll see what that turns into. Red dot in the momentum wave pointing to the downside. Smack dab in the middle there too, though. We're pretty leveled out on all of these indicators, all of these price levels. We're leveled out, and it seems like we're waiting. We're waiting to see where we're going to go. Chainlink, $8.77, down 0.68% on the day. We did get a bearish cross here. See what that turns into. Double rejection off of 50 on the RSI. Red dot in the momentum wave pointed to the downside. We'll see what that turns into as well. Very quiet. I'm hoping that this does not play out to be this, because that would suck. Just a continuation of the downside. But that might be how it plays out. Gold, we talked about briefly, up 0.42% on the day. We are following the new hand-drawn fractal, which is modeled off of the original fractal, and a revision to the fractal 2.0. This is fractal Mach 3. We will see what this one turns into as well. Support target option 142.50 did not hit. Maybe that was for back here, though. That might have been for a long time ago. Let's see if gold and silver can continue to the upside. Silver's up 3.44%. Absolutely killing it. Love me some silver. It is the poor man's gold. $80.60. Let's see if we can get above 82.48 and put my my long back in profit. I probably should have averaged down, but I think this move happened faster than I was anticipating. um, I don't know. As contrary to what people would believe, I actually prefer the lower low usually, because it usually plays out to the upside. Whenever I've seen it, at least. I've never seen like a textbook bounce and then a higher low and then a continuation of the upside turn out well. This usually turns into a bear flag and then it eventually dumps lower. A lower low eventually has some kind of bullish push up. I don't know why. That's just what I've seen more often than the higher low. Plus, I just noticed this. We got bullish divergence, which is freaking awesome. It is the bad kind that just signals a short-term uptrend and a longer-term downtrend for the price and a longer-term uptrend for the RSI. But I'll take a short-term uptrend. Nice little dopamine hit. Jay West Adventure said I forgot gold and silver were a thing. I got a little bit of each. Not gold. I mean, I guess like jewelry, but it's not like, I think it's like 16 karat, maybe worth like $100. Stopped hearing about them. Yeah. The hype really did disappear, didn't it? DXY down 0.11% on the day. I want this thing to break below this trend line again. We've talked about this a bunch of times. This is a 15-year-old trend line dating all the way back to April 2011. Pretty crazy that we broke below it at all. We've never broken below it before. Oops. Never broken below it before. Look at this. Establishment, clean bounce, and then right here, we finally broke through it. We got clean bounce right there, and then we broke through it right there, and actually closed some candles below it. We got weekly candle closes below it. Yep, look at that. Weekly candle close below it. It was a bullish, that's a bullish candle though. That is a bullish candle pattern. I think it's called a hammer candle or something like that. And then we got daily, plenty of candles closed below it on the daily. And then obviously the 4-hour. So we'll see if we break below that. That would maybe be bullish for assets. I got some exciting news to go over with you guys today. Big B Coffee, aka MicroStrategy, currently 134.76. We'll see what it looks like come the beginning of the week. Obviously, we know false move Monday might be the case. We'll see what happens if we get no move on Monday. Maybe that would be our best case scenario, so that way Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we actually know what direction we're going. NASDAQ down 0.22% on the day, 25,131.2. We'll see if this thing continues to the upside. S&P also looks good. Or I guess looks good. NASDAQ doesn't look great. Doesn't look bad, though. Slowly recovering. If it recouples, that would be ideal, but we are pretty far away to the point where I'm going to consider this fractal a failure. Or I guess we'll call that like a 66% success. Maybe 60. 60 is probably fair. S&P, however, this thing still has a chance to recouple. What's the lore behind calling it Big B Coffee? Well, look at the logo. I don't know why. Somebody sat there and said, let's change our logo. It's going to be strategy, but I want the logo to look like the Bitcoin logo, but make it a deeper burnt orange color. So the Big B Coffee logo, for whatever reason, somebody was like, oh, it's a dark burnt orange B, and it looks exactly like Big B Coffee. So I just call it Big B Coffee now, because that's what it looks like to me. That's all I see. I cannot see the strategy logo without seeing Big B Coffee. This logo right here. That looks like that. That's all I see. Somebody like put together like some drafts, and they were like, this is what I got. And somebody went, I like that one. And they approved that. And they pushed it out. And that's their logo now. Somebody, like several people had to approve that. It blows my mind that ever happened. That's all I think of now. So, to be fair though, Big B Coffee probably would be offended, because I don't know if they're publicly traded, but if they are, they're probably doing a lot better than Strategy is. We talked about NASDAQ. S&P looks good. Recoupling is still in the cards. I guess I like that we filled that wick, or that gap. Are we going to, I don't know, let's get back above 7K, man. I want to get back above 7K before the end of the month. That would be ideal. We did get a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI, smack dab in the middle. I would argue and this sounds like a cop-out, like a little bit of copium. I would make the argument here that this is a consolidation before a move. Now, I don't know if that move is going to be up or down. Either direction is equally possible. 88 Metals Mania said, should be suing for copyright infringement, right? Yeah, dude, that's way too close. That's so freaking... I actually want to go on Photoshop now and check how close that orange is. It looks so freaking close, dude. That's crazy. But yeah, let's see what the S&P 500 does in the next couple of days. I want to check the Dow, because the Dow was the big celebration the other day. You have 50,101.1. See, this has the same kind of consolidation situation. Look at the RSI, really lingering around 50, and the price doing the same thing. Now, when we take that and we look at the S&P, it's got the same thing going on. Really lingering around 50. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. Obviously, we're seeing a bullish push play out right here. Is it going to continue is the question. That would be the ideal scenario. JY's Adventure said, I like that Bitcoin fell below Sailor's average and the Doomers can't say anything. They Sailor was Do Kwon or Sam Bankman, LOL. MicroStrategy will collapse. Yeah, dude, that one's funny. That's just as bad as the Tether FUD. People are like, Tether's decoupling. Tether's gonna be the biggest black swan to ever hit crypto. Tether. Like freaking some crazy doom scenario. And then Tether is like the largest buyer of gold and US securities on the planet 3-4 years later. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, Tether's so amazing. It's so goofy to me, man. The Sailor one's my favorite. Like, he's not leveraged. There's no leverage involved. And if you pay attention, like, if you're gonna be a doomer, do your research, man. When you do your research and you're a doomer, you're scary. Because if you say something and I can't, like, debunk or, like, rationalize what you're saying, then I start to get scared. But when you're just silly with it, you're like, Sailor's gonna get liquidated when Bitcoin goes to this level. And then I go, well, he's not leveraged, though. And he has 2 years of cash to pay his dividends, so he doesn't have to worry about anything of the sort. As long as he doesn't average down, he has 2 years of cash. If he does average down, then you're in trouble. Your little FUD story is in trouble, because he'll get below his liquidation point, which doesn't exist, again, because he's not leveraged. But they would have to suppress the price of Bitcoin for 2 years, which has never happened before in history. So I don't know. Let's just keep making stuff up, though. It's fun. I wonder what will the best alts for next cycle. That's a great question. Let's ask Grok. Grok's going to spit out some nonsense based on what people are hyped up about at the moment, but let's just ask him, what do you think the best altcoins will be next crypto bull cycle? All right, so while Grok is doing that, yeah, give me the big one. Let's go through the news segment. At the moment, Bitcoin is chilling at $70,276. Appreciate you guys for being here. Don't forget to smash the like button. Should we switch up the poll while we wait? Let's do that. I got another poll for you guys. We got 10 votes so far. You guys are killing it. Don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. If you guys are watching the big game and you want to gamble like a degenerate gambler, sign up for my Kalshi link in the description and deposit and trade with $25 or more, and we both get $25 in non-withdrawable site credit. Help support the channel. And it's a lot of fun, but it is degenerate gambling, so treat it as such. Also, crypto fair agreed at the moment is 9 on CoinMarketCap. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go see really quick. I want to go to the regular Fear and Greed. This is at 14. Okay, it was 7 yesterday. 6 the day before that. Crazy. And then CoinMarketCap. Yep. 9. Wow. That's crazy, man. Current low is 5, and that was February 5th, which was 3 days ago. All right. Grok said Solana. I like that one. Tau, absolutely. Render, really. DPIN plus AI compute infrastructure. Provides GPU power for rendering and AI workloads. Interesting. Sui and Ando or Chainlink. I love those. I love these picks. These are great picks. Hyperliquid, meme coins, emerging smaller cap DPIN, Filecoin, Helium, or AI agents. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I like those answers. That's a great answer. Solana, Tau, Render, Sui, Ando, Chainlink, Hype, and some meme coins. That's a brilliant answer. Okay, I was going to redo our poll. I asked you guys, does crypto catch up this week? 60% of you guys said everything crashes. 30% of you guys said yes, crypto pumps next week. 10% of you guys said no, stocks stay winning. And 0% of you guys said gold and silver are the only safety. All right, let's get a new poll going on. New poll. This one I think I'm the most excited for. Is Warsh just a bait and switch by Trump? Yes, Warsh is a psyop. No, this is peak copium. Yes, all part of the plan. No, but he'll be a dove. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please avert your attention to the poll in the chat. I asked you guys, is Warsh just a bait and switch by Trump? Your options are yes, Warsh is a psyop. No, this is peak copium. Yes, all part of the plan. No, but Warsh will be a dove. Dovish. JWaz Venture said, there's a low-cap sports betting prediction market coin on base called Bracky. I'll hopefully rotate from banker to buy some. Very safe answer from Grok. I like it, though. It's a nice... Honestly, is it safe, though? Look at how far Ando and Render have dropped. Tau as well. I think Tau's near all-time lows. Tau was one of the greatest performers this market. Like 2025, Tau did amazing. Surprised at Tau's resilience. All right. Coin Bureau posted, this one was crazy to me. BitThumb made 620,000 fake Bitcoin. On Friday, a system glitch let BitThumb distribute 620,000 Bitcoin that never existed on the blockchain. The exchange only had 175 Bitcoin on its own books and 42,619 Bitcoin for customers. Yet its ledger treated fake coins as real. South Korean lawmakers called this a structural failure, not human error. Regulators are now launching on-site inspections and possible sanctions. That's crazy. Coinbase Premium Index is going vertical. This was posted 17 hours by Zcasho. That usually means one thing: aggressive U.S. spot demand. Either banks are front-running the crypto bill, which will unlock $3 trillion plus of institutional capital via stablecoins, or the U.S. government has started buying to build the strategic Bitcoin reserve. Both of those options are actually insane. Next, we've got... Okay, this is a big one from Bull Theory, so bear with me. As per usual, is the Fed already too late for rate cuts? Trueflation is showing U.S. inflation near 0.68%. It's updated daily, by the way. While layoffs, credit defaults, and bankruptcies are all rising, yet the Fed still says the economy is strong. If you look at the economy right now and compare it with what the Fed is saying publicly, they are very clear disconnect building. The Fed keeps repeating that the job market is still strong, but real data coming out from layoffs, hiring slowdowns, and wage trends is telling a different story. We are already seeing cracks forming beneath the surface. The labor market is not collapsing overnight, but it is clearly weakening faster than what official statements suggest. The same disconnect shows up in inflation data. The Fed continues to say inflation is sticky and not fully under control, but real-time inflation trackers like Trueflation are now showing inflation running at close to 0.68%. That level is not signaling overheating. It is signaling that price pressures are cooling rapidly and the economy is moving closer toward disinflation and potentially deflation if the trend continues. And deflation is a much bigger risk than inflation. Inflation slows spending, but deflation stops spending. When consumers expect prices to fall, they delay purchases. businesses cut production, margins shrink, and layoffs accelerate. This is when economic slowdowns turn into deeper recessions. Another area flashing warning signs is credit stress. Credit card delinquencies are rising. Auto loan defaults are rising. Corporate credit stress is rising. These are late cycle signals that usually appear when households and businesses are already struggling with higher rates. Bankruptcies are also moving higher across sectors. This shows that the cost of capital is starting to break weaker balance sheets. Small businesses and over-leveraged companies are feeling the pressure first, but that pressure spreads if policy stays tight for too long. So the bigger question becomes policy timing. If inflation is already cooling, if the labor market is already weakening, if credit stress is already rising, then holding rates restrictive for too long can amplify the slowdown instead of stabilizing it. Monetary policy works with a lag, which means by the time the Fed reacts to confirmed weakness in lagging data, the damage is often already done. That is the risk the market is starting to price in now. This is no longer just about inflation control. It's about whether policy is now over tight relative to real economic conditions. And if that's the case, then the next phase of the cycle will not be driven by inflation fears, but it will be driven by growth fears and policy reversal expectations. That is why is the Fed too late question is starting to matter more for markets going into the next few months. I think they've been late for quite some time, if we're being completely honest. Michael Saylor's going to buy some more Bitcoin. Absolute freaking giga chad. Michael Saylor buying more Bitcoin. Orange dots matter. $3.5 trillion Goldman Sachs warns the market sell-off is not over yet. Interesting. Marty Party posted the BitThumb article, them creating Bitcoin out of thin air. Self-custody your Bitcoin, self-custody your Solana, self-custody your Ethereum, self-custody your Sweet. You can still buy and sell by simply swapping in and out of stablecoins on any number of network DEXs. Remove the asset from these parasitic centralized exchanges. Just click withdraw and take back control of our asset class. I agree. Kobe SE letter posted, the European stocks are experiencing an incredible run. The Stoxx 600 index has gained for 7 consecutive months, the longest streak since 2013. This is also the second best run this century and one of the strongest in 40 years. During the streak, the index has rallied 14.4%. The run has been fueled by mining stocks and stocks basic resource index surging 65.6%. Banking stocks have followed, with stocks banks index soaring 39.9%. Is Europe's economy finally starting to gain momentum? 88 Metals Mania said, wonder how Coinbase earnings will be this week. I think they're going to be high. Coinbase makes so much freaking money, it's ridiculous. They also just started their betting markets. They premiered that with like a big fat giveaway on for the Super Bowl. So there's no doubt in my mind that their earnings are probably going to be crazy. Next we got job openings. U.S. job openings are at recession levels. I think we read this yesterday. Recorded during the 2001 recession. It's below the levels recorded during the 2001 recession. That's crazy. Key events this week. This is important. Write it down, screenshot it. Just remember it. We'll try to go over it every single day. Maybe I'll forget. I don't know. Key events this week. 1. December retail sales data comes out on Monday. 2. January jobs report comes out on Wednesday. 3. Initial jobless claims data comes out on Thursday. Both of those items are used by the Fed to, they're heavily influenced on whether or not we get a rate cut. 4. January existing home sales data comes out on Thursday. 5. January CPI inflation data comes out on Friday. That is the Fed's preferred inflation metric, by the way. 5. Fed speaker events this week. More government shutdown data on its way. 88 Metals Mania said probably some news on their prediction market. That's what I'm thinking, yeah. We now have 1. U.S. president with a 100,000 price target on the Dow. 2. New Fed chair who is required to cut interest rates. 3. $2,000 stimulus checks back in discussion. Let's go. 4. U.S. government buying $200 billion in mortgage bonds. 5. New $1.2 trillion funding bill signed into effect. 6. Trump saying USD is doing great after a 10% drop. Own assets or be left behind. Kobe Esulator also posted, how bad is the U.S. debt crisis become? Interest payments on the U.S. public debt to overseas holders surged to a record $292 billion in Q3 2025. This amount has more than doubled since 2020. The U.S. Treasury now pays 6 times more to international holders of U.S. debt than before the 2008 financial crisis. This comes as foreign investors hold a record $9.1 trillion in U.S. Treasuries, 4 times higher than 2005 levels. The U.S. government is paying insane amounts of interest. Isn't that crazy? Trueflation posted breaking U.S. CPI inflation today. Again, remember this metric is updated daily, so it does fluctuate quite a bit. But I'm assuming when CPI publishes theirs, Trueflation maybe averages out their information. I don't know. Our independent inflation index dropped from 0.86% yesterday to 0.68% today, Sunday, February 8th. Independent pricing data shows yet another strong wave of cooling inflation, this time driven by a 20% drop in natural gas prices charged to residential consumers. Utility providers purchase gas at wholesale hubs or under contracts, with household prices adjusted later due to regulatory factors and billing cycles. This latest cooling reflects commodity price declines from previous months, which are only now tracking into retail gas prices. Interesting. JY's Avenger said, yet another boring and dead market will be so annoying. Sigh. Yeah, that's the way that it is. Trueflation posted, thank you, Scott Bessent, for mentioning our independent inflation index on Senate Banking Committee, Fox News, and now your X. We hope this metric, anchored in millions of real-time true price data points, reaches President Trump and the Federal Reserve. How sick would that be if your independent inflation metric got recognized by somebody in the White House? That would be crazy, dude. I would be so stoked. Congratulations to them. Good for them. Cointelegraph posted, market total TVL has dropped $73 billion since October 10th liquidation event. Pretty crazy stuff. Although if you look, there's a very clear trend line here. Looks like we might be below it. Let's actually go put that. I'm interested to see, because clearly that's going to be on the Bitcoin chart as well. Let's go to the Bitstamp clean chart. Zoom out a little bit. We'll go to the daily. Saeed said, hi, sir. How you doing, Saeed? Happy Sunday, my friend. Or Monday for you. Happy Monday. I lied about the trend line. It is not on this chart. It is only on TVL. Whoops. Let's see. Can we fudge one? Yeah, actually we can. Wondering, are we going to get a higher low right here? Boop. And then one more, and then a continuation to the upside going into 2027. Wouldn't that be crazy? Huh. That would probably make a lot of people mad. That would still be considered a bear market. And I think we can confirm that we're in a bear market for sure. Once we fell below the bull market support band. The real question now is, how long is it going to last? That, my friends, is the important thing to ask. What's nice is that we got down here quick, because when it takes forever, that's the torturous part, man. That's the torturous part. Just cut it off, you know. I don't want to sit here all day thinking about it. All right. Update. Bitcoin mining difficulty just saw the biggest negative adjustment since China's 2021 mining ban. We've got 125.86 trillion, whatever that means. I'm assuming this is because the price of Bitcoin dropped so far that it's not profitable to mine anymore in certain areas. So they probably shut down their miners, or they maybe just pivoted to AI. What's cool about AI is, again, I mentioned this before, it might actually free up some hash rate for Bitcoin. People, like if 50% of the mining industry pivots to AI, obviously it would be a big hit to decentralization, but technically it might actually be better, because maybe the little guy will be more inclined to start up solo mining. Just a concept, just an idea. JY's Adventure said, if that happens, but it's not supposed to be so easy to time the bottom, and it's not easy to time the top, how can everyone predict a Q4 bottom? That's my issue, is everyone and their brother is like, oh, I just realized, I personally just came up with this theory, never seen it anywhere before, no one's ever talked about it, it's my original idea, that from all-time low to all-time high, it's only 1,064 days, and from all-time high to all-time low, it's only 364 days, which, if you start with the October 6th, 2025 exact top, that would put us at October 5th, 2026. Whoa! My original idea that no one on earth has ever come up with before. It's completely original and my idea alone. I'm a genius. That's what's happening, and it's driving me crazy. Everyone's like, oh, the 4-year market, the 4-year cycle. I knew it. I knew the 4-year cycle. Oh my gosh, I knew it. It's the same every single time, even though I just said that for the first time in my life today, and before I insisted that the 4-year cycle wasn't real. It drives me crazy, man. I can't stand it. Moving AI, indeed. I mean, if it's profitable, why am I gonna? If I would take my job and my paycheck goes like this all the time, that sucks. I would rather just have this paycheck. You know what I mean? It's the same price every single time. Wow, look at that. A steady, stable paycheck. You don't get the benefits of these monstrous spikes, but you also don't have to worry about these crazy valleys either. It's just a more attractive option. Okay. This is Bitcoin's 4th worst Q1 so far, I think is what they meant to put. Let's see, 2014 we got minus 37.42, 2015 minus 24.14, 2018 minus 49.7. Wow. 2020 minus 10.83. Honestly, all we got to do is get above 30. Well, I guess it could be the 3rd. It's 4th right now. 3rd, we would just have to get above 24.14, which seems really easy. This guy said, historically, Bitcoin's worst Q1s often precede significant recoveries. Do they? Nope, minus 49, minus 7.7. He's lying. Minus 37 plus 40. That one's real. Minus 24 plus 7. Wow, that actually was almost as bad as minus 24. Maybe it does kind of seem like he's full of crap. 88 Metals Mania said, right now your paycheck will be cut in half every 4 years too. Plus the energy to get that paycheck goes up. Exactly. That's too much. Too much BS. Can you just pay me in dollars? Can you just pay me in fiat? I think I'd rather be paid in the Uncle Sam currency, please. Thank you. The one they print. Can you give me that? Jay West. Jay West Avenger said, if it's that easy to time the bottom, I should just come back later. But one thing about crypto is never that easy. I've learned that this cycle being my first cycle. That's 100%. That's why it's driving me crazy that like a little bit of it's right this time. So everyone's like, oh, this is the way that it's always gonna be. It's just 100% like this. It's this way. It will never be any other way. And then those people are gonna get destroyed. And they're gonna be like, whoa, I'm never coming back to crypto. It's so hard. I don't know who told you it was easy, bro. Just because you believed in the 4-year cycle for 5 minutes. There is now a 23.2% chance of a rate cut at the next FOMC meeting per the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Perp volume is up almost 400% over the past 365 days. See, this is, I think, our biggest issue and probably why Bitcoin's dropping so far so fast. People are over-leveraged. People are over-leveraged. There's a gambling epidemic happening in, not even just in cryptocurrencies, in the markets in general. Why do we think gold and silver got so volatile? This has never happened before in history. These levels up have never happened before in history, but this drawdown is like actually unprecedented. Every time it got crazier, like this happened, people are like, this is a moment people will talk about for decades. And then this happened, and they're like, this is a moment people will talk about for decades. Like, how often are you going to say that? There's too much leverage. We need to chill with the leverage. I don't believe in over-regulation, but I think this is definitely like a learning lesson, kind of learning curve situation with people. They're like, I'm leveraged up to the tits. And then they get completely decimated, and they're going to come like crawling out of the rubble like, I'm never doing that again. Somebody needs to learn a lesson here. I'm fully spot now. I have not traded leverage in weeks. And I feel great, dude. I feel so good, which is disgusting because I love leverage. I'm just as much of a gambling addict as the old people at the casino, just like brainlessly pressing the button on the slot machine. That's how I feel. Cheers. Appreciate you guys listening to me ramble for hours on end. Michael Saylor said, Orange Dots Matter. Another week has begun. Throwback, Bitcoin has not been this low since November of 2024. That's crazy. The leverage won't ever stop, right? I mean, hopefully they at least get better at it. The crypto market added 50 billion in the past 24 hours. It's like people don't buy spot anymore. For real, that's exactly what's happening, and those people lose their minds. It's another thing. People are like, I gotta make back what I lost. That's never gonna happen, brother. That is never gonna happen. And even if you do, it's so volatile. We've read too many coinfessions where people are like, I made $250,000 last year, lost it all, made 400K this year, and then I lost it all betting on fart coin or something crazy. Like, everyone's always trying to chase some new high, and it sucks. It's crazy. I read a crazy story about like teenage girls jumping off a building because they were addicted to online gambling or something. That was recent. I was like, whoa, why is this happening? It's crazy. It's insane. Stock Money Lizards posted, I have to admit, it looks like the fractal guys were right. Fibs, EMA 200 breakdown, and even structure looks very similar. What I believe follows next, extended bottom phase, maybe another FTX sending a wick to mid 50Ks, then up. Timeline 3 to 6 months, Bitcoin. So this is just that fractal. And I think this is what everyone's looking at. Which is why I am hesitant to just blindly be like, oh, yep, looks good. Now my concern is, are they going to send it lower or are they going to send it higher? And when are they going to do that? Because there's no way. I would probably put money on everything but this exact thing playing out. But I'm also historically very bad at prediction markets. It's just crazy to me that this would play out the exact same way. I think people got lucky estimating that it was because they said the same thing every single time. Every single time. They said this, they said right here, they're like, oh, it's going to be like 2021. And then right here, oh, it's going to be like 2021. Right here specifically, see this 1, 2 double top right there? They said that was this. This whole thing was just that little baby thing. And then right here, they're like, oh, it's going to be like 2021. See? And then it finally played out. You know what I mean? People were saying the same thing right here. Do you guys remember that? I'm just saying. It's like people don't buy spot anymore. They just leverage trade check out. I love it. All right. CoinVo Trading posted breaking. The business cycle just hit the exact level that started every major Bitcoin rally. Liquidity hasn't topped yet, and the business cycle is about to begin. The bottom is getting close. Mini liquidity cycle larger within a larger one. Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so Bitcoin, we got a bunch of circles. Mini liquidity cycle within a larger one. Okay, liquidity cycle, and then this is the business cycle. Parabolic part of this macro cycle doesn't start until this lifts off. Okay, interesting. So we're waiting for that, and then I'm assuming obviously maybe the liquidity cycle has to get above the midpoint right here. I'm wondering if this is the ISM PMI. Where do you find the liquidity cycle chart? Because I'd be interested in overlaying that on some Bitcoin charts. Crypto Rand posted, imagine turning bearish on Bitcoin at one of its historical RSI bottoms. Wake up. We got 3K, 9 on the RSI, 4K, 15 on the RSI, 62K, 15 on the RSI. I'm assuming this is maybe a weekly time frame. Let's see. Weekly. Whoops. No, it's got to be daily then. Am I crazy? Right there? Yeah, it's daily. Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. 15, 15. Wow, it really hasn't been that low. Whew. Yeah, that was the pandemic bottom. Maybe this is a little panic crash right there. Interesting. Wouldn't that be crazy? Because after the pandemic bottom, Bitcoin ripped, dude. I share something in Discord. Check it out, please. He made that tweet September. Now that would be Max Payne. All right, let's go take a look. This is from Zoran Cole. I went to school with Zoran. He was an asshole. All right. Head, shoulder, yep. Fake break, bear trap. 70K. I like it, man. I actually really like this. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to put it on the Bitcoin chart. Let's overlay this bad boy and see what it looks like. I'm going to go back to our Bitstamp clean chart because my charts are messy. I'm going to go to the daily. What time frame is this? This is the weekly. Okay, I'm going to go to the weekly. Go to the weekly. Let's zoom out. I don't know. See, I guess the only argument there is that that right shoulder is very, very small compared to the left. But let's see. Okay, yep, we got our little double peak. Right there. No, zoom in a little bit more. Zoom out a little bit more right there. I think that's it. Bam. Oh, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. I like that. Okay, hang on. I think this has to get a little bit bigger. That's the one. Wow. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so we didn't technically, this is really close. We technically didn't get that bounce for that right shoulder. So he's looking for a chop. I'm going to call this July through maybe July, August, September, 3 months. July to July. So that's got to be six. This is 6-month gap right there, 2027. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll call it a 4-month gap. So July, August, September, October. That would be October. That would line up with October. That's a, well, no, I'm sorry. That's a 4-month gap. So right now we're in February. February, March, April, May. So maybe we're looking at May breakout. Where's May? May breakout would be, I'm going to go with May 18th. That'll be like our little midpoint. Okay, man. I like it. I like that a lot. So he's saying we just chop sideways here. We do one of these and then pop. Yeah. I mean, it kind of fits. It fits tremendously. All right, let's see. Let's see. Joe Has Adventure said, now that would be Max Payne. That makes more sense to me. Catches everyone off guard. May break out with new Fed chair. That too, yeah. I said real bottom is in the summer, not Q4. Lunar Entity said, everything ripped after pandemic. Real rates when negative and Powell was printing. That is true. Okay, so I want to get back to the news segment. I'm going to keep this chart up because this is very interesting to me. I want to talk about this a little bit more before I go. Nobody thinks that. I agree. I agree. Everyone's thinking October. Everyone is insisting it's going to be October. So they're probably going to start loading up in September. So I'm going to guess it's going to happen before September. Maybe June, July, August. In those 3 months, Bitcoin is going to catch everyone off guard and go. That's my guess. And that's strictly based off of this 4-year cycle nonsense. I still think is smoke and mirrors. Okay. Thank you for that, Jay Wise Adventure. That's brilliant. Parabolic posted. I should actually save that post as well. I'm going to pin this in the Discord. That's what I'm going to do. Because we haven't pinned shit in there. Beautiful. We'll check that out for sure in the future. So in the future when I'm like, where did that tweet go? Just remind me that it's pinned in the damn Discord. Okay, Parabolic XBT posted, the rally nobody believes in. What if the parabolic move everyone expected in 2025 just happens in 2026 instead? But then most will have capitulated, 100% convinced altcoins are dead forever. History shows that's exactly when generational opportunities emerge, when even the permabulls surrender. By then, every pump is labeled a dead cat bounce. Every bounce gets sold into. Lower lows feel inevitable. That's the setup for real reversals, not built on hope, built on exhaustion. Markets don't bottom when fear peaks. They bottom when belief dies completely. We're starting to move into that phase now. The crowd exits at the bottom and FOMO's back in at the top every single time. Parabolic. that is kind of what fuels the upside. We are in, let's see, what is that? 500. Okay, so this is crypto total market cap excluding top 10. Kind of topped out. We didn't even reach a new high. We're at multi-year support, best risk to reward. I actually agree with that. And I like that falling wedge on the RSI. That looks great. I like that too. I'm going to give them a like. Like they need it. 13,000 views. Bar chart posted. Stock market says goodbye to fear after just one day. Now sitting at neutral. Bar chart posted. If you invested $10,000 in MicroStrategy during the peak of the .com bubble, you'd have $4,050 today. Not too bad. That's crazy. Dang. .com bubble MicroStrategy is crazy, dude. Chinese yuan hits highest level against US dollar since May 2023. Interesting. Mega cap tech stocks post best day since November. Breaking U.S. job market. U.S. suffered more than 108,000 job cuts last month, the most during the month of January since the global financial crisis, which, mind you, was in 2008. It has been, what is that, 18 years since then? Has it really? Let me see. Yes, wow, it's been 18 years since 2008. Whew. Lunar Entity said the quarterly wicked off the 21 exponential moving average beautifully. Hasn't done that since the pandemic. Yes, sir. This guy looks like Walton Goggins. Peter Lynch said the market will go down sometimes. This is great. We got two great quotes from this guy. It's a good thing when it does, but if you're not ready for that, you shouldn't own stocks. Okay. Bar chart posted commercial real estate official CMBS delinquency rate hits 11.7%, the highest level in history. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be buying myself a house within the next, I want to say 12 months, but I'm going to say 24 months. That's me manifesting. It's not hinged on crypto, but I guess the size of the house and the state that the house is in will depend on crypto. Lunar Entity, yep, we read that. Okay, next we got another great quote from Walton Goggins, aka Peter Lynch, who looks nothing like Walton Goggins here. Far more money has been lost by investors preparing for corrections or trying to anticipate corrections than has been lost in corrections themselves. That is a beautiful quote. I'm going to put that in the Discord. I've never seen anything more truthful than this when it comes to investing at all. This is brilliant. Basically, most people lose money just trying to time things correctly. Lunar Entity said, I think I said a couple months ago to watch for commercial real estate to collapse, then wait for residential to show cracks. Okay. Pay attention. I think the issue, my biggest issue is it's been the boy who cried, or it's really a woman every time, real estate agent, the woman who cried housing market crash for 5-10 years. Like ever since I've thought about purchasing a home 10 plus years ago, everyone's like, oh, just wait for the market to crash any time now, any day now. And I'm like, okay. I'm turned 30, 31, 32, still waiting. I'm like, man, I don't think it's gonna happen. Did you? Is there a housing market crash? No. It's like a talking point by everyone except for the people who actually know what's going on. 88 Metals Mania said Trump said he's keeping the prices of homes high, though. I know, that's my biggest problem. He said he doesn't want to make prices too low for people that didn't work for them. So I'm working. I'm working for the home. Oh, man. The problem is that the administration is forcing a soft landing by keeping the housing market elevated. Letting it collapse signals a massive contraction in liquidity, which also hurts Bitcoin. Plus, rates going down won't help prices fall. Okay. Chain Mine posted breaking. As of February 8th, no credible reports confirm. Okay, so this is maybe BS news. I saw this a couple of times, though I figured I'd talk about it. Allegedly, according to these rumors, the SEC might be looking into whether Binance Futures may have set off a liquidation cascade on October 10th, 2025. I don't understand why or how, though. Binance is literally not allowed to operate in the United States, so it's kind of unaffiliated, but whatever. Just in, Binance reclaims 72. I'm sorry, Bitcoin. Wow. Bitcoin reclaimed 72K. That was 3 hours ago. It has since lost that level and is at $70,817 now. Interesting. Bitcoin is pumping, Christoph. You are correct, my friend. You are correct. Should we go down to the 4-hour? It's up 0.76%. Those look good. We like it. We like a pumpy Bitcoin. Kobe yesterday letter posted 3 hours ago. U.S. stock market futures opened higher with S&P 500 futures now up 150 points since Friday's low. Bitcoin is back above 72K. Again, that was 3 hours ago. It is now sitting at $70,855. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe if you are new. I appreciate you guys for being here. If you guys are watching the Super Bowl, or if it's over, whatever's going on, and you want to be a degenerate gambler and bet on random junk, like whether or not Trump is going to say the word peanuts at the press conference, or whatever he's doing next, sign up to Kalshi. Links in the description. If you sign up and trade $25 or more, we both get $25 in non-withdrawable site credit. Help support the channel. It is degenerate gambling, though, so treat it as such. If you have a gambling problem, contact somebody for help. Lunar said Bitcoin is waiting for New York. All right. Breaking, President Trump reiterates his $100,000 target for the Dow Jones, record stock market, and national security, driven by our great tariffs. I am predicting 100,000 on the Dow by the end of my term. Remember, Trump was right about everything. I hope the United States Supreme Court is watching. Trump at the game? That's a good question. I actually have no idea. That was 3 hours ago. Cointelegraph, 6 hours ago. Market leverage trading liquidated over $4 billion in the past 5 days. That is a lot of money. Look at how big that cloud's getting. Told you guys, leverage is out of control. Circle and Tether own 84.8% of the stablecoin market. Can anything overtake them? I feel like they can. Look at the... I like DAI, D-A-I. I feel like they've been around for forever, and they're very, very trustworthy. I don't know what... Isn't this Athena? Isn't this the one that decoupled? The USDE, the PayPal USD, PYUSD. Interesting. Can they make these different colors? There's a bunch of yellows that look identical and a bunch of blues that look identical. And these are just white. Who made this? 100K is crazy, right? I mean, if you think about it, though, when they do the Trump accounts are not active yet. Those are the $1,000 per newborn. So for every child that is born in the United States, they will print and inject $1,000 into the stock market. Sometimes $2,000. Sometimes it's matched by the company that you work for, like Bank of America or whatever. So every child born in the United States, how many kids per day born in the U.S.? Oh, 9,000. The low end is 9,800. The high end is 10,000. So let's just do 9,800 times 1,000. So every day they're going to inject $9.8 million into the stock market. 9.8 million per day into the stock market. Times 365. That is $3.577 billion into the stock market. That's a lot of money. That's just for 1 year. And that's based on average. If they start to pay people to have kids, people might be a little more incentivized to have kids. So they're gonna inspire a baby boom. They're gonna print per baby. This is such a great... What a dystopian future are we heading for? You guys gonna have more kids? My portfolio's looking a little dried up. That's crazy. Oh, man. What's going on, Cody? Happy Sunday, my friend. All right. Let's get back to it. Update. Bitmine is now around 71% complete with its goal to own 5% of the ETH supply. That's crazy. Today, billionaire Grant Cardone says he's listing his Golden Beach mansion for 700 Bitcoin, while neighbors lists similar property for 88 million. He said, let the neighbor take more fiat. I'll still be better off 4 years from now. That's actually a brilliant idea. I like that. I like this guy's suits as well. He frequently wears snazzy suits. Reminds me of Kingsman. Great movie, by the way. Both of them. Cointelegraph, over $107 million in crypto positions were liquidated in the past 60 minutes. That was 2 hours ago. with 85.4 million from shorts and 22.45 million from longs. 88 Metals Mania said times 3 end of his term. Still don't make the 100K number. Jay West Venture said it is. The Wall-E movie is where we're heading. Oh, 100%. Wall-E. Right now we're in Idiocracy. We're eventually going to evolve into Wall-E. Has to double, just hit 50. 88 Metals Mania. Oh yeah, we're maybe hitting a parabola. Who knows, man? If they just endlessly print money or they revalue the gold and pay off the debt, I have no idea. I have no answers, man. Money's made up. Debt's made up. Inflation's made up. They're just going to make it up. You know? Like, these exchanges report the price of Bitcoin. So, if, and sure it's decentralized, but if majority of the exchanges report that Bitcoin's $1 million right now, I bet you everywhere would believe that Bitcoin was $1 million. People would start to sell their Bitcoin for $1 million. Other people would start to buy Bitcoin for $1 million. So despite it being decentralized, even if they only pulled the wool over their eyes for a brief moment, Bitcoin would still be $1 million. It's worth as much as what the next guy's willing to pay for it. If I bought one millionth of a Bitcoin for $1 on an exchange where no one else was buying Bitcoin, for that millisecond, that brief moment, Bitcoin would be valued at $1 million. Just for me buying $1 worth of one millionth of one Bitcoin. It's all made up. Let's see. JWAS Venture. Earth destroyed and we live in a space station all fat with robots and AI doing everything for us. I shared how we will be in the future in Discord. Let's go see. If you guys haven't already joined the Discord, it's completely free, ton of fun. This is 100% accurate. This is actually the only instance of a photograph from the future. Such a good movie, though. Yeah, that's exactly where we're heading, man. Exactly where we're heading. We're just, honestly, they're probably going to get rid of our bodies. We're just going to be brains inside tubes hooked up to all these computers and stuff. That's where we're going. John! What's going on, John? He said, is this the McDub's Career Fair conference room? Yes, it is, my friend. Welcome. Have a seat. We were just going over the customer is always right. And we are not allowed to ask for tips per management. And you always have to wear your McDub's visor, your McVisor. We do not allow hats. So you got to put on the McVisor, and then you have to put your hairnet on over the McVisor. And make sure you're always smiling. Have a seat. Welcome. Welcome to the McDub's Career Fair conference room. Let's see. JY's Venture. Yep. Lunar Entity said, well, yeah. On-chain metrics show that without derivatives, the realized spot price would have been 300K at 126. Oh, yeah. 100%. Okay. Next, we've got so much for hawkish incoming Fed chair, a Fed Treasury accord that's about to fundamentally reshape interest rates.
I'm not quite sure how to help him with that.
Damn, my Amazon Echo. I guess that said something. A Fed Treasury accord is about to fundamentally reshape interest rates. None of us own enough hard assets. Warsh call for Fed Treasury accord stirs debate in $30 trillion bond market. Kevin Warsh, this is the takeaways by Bloomberg AI. Kevin Warsh has called for a new accord with the Treasury Department, overhauling the relationship between the two institutions with a new version of an agreement from 1951. A revamp could be a bureaucratic tweak with little near-term impact, but more ambitious effort could see increased volatility and concern over the U.S. central bank independence. A new accord could spell out that the Fed would only make large-scale Treasury purchases with the Treasury's endorsement, or lay out a plan for the Fed to shift its portfolio to bills, which could have implications for the bond market and the Fed's independence. Kevin Warsh floated plenty of ideas for how he would run the Federal Reserve during his campaign for the job as chair. For Wall Street, few are as cryptic for potentially consequential as his call for a new accord with the Treasury Department. Okay, I don't know what the hell any of this means, but cool. This guy thinks it's dovish. We'll have to ask Grok or something. Japan's Nikkei 225 stock market hits record high, surging 6% following Prime Minister Takashi Takachi's election victory. So this badass lady won. Congratulations, badass lady. Cheers. Please print more money and pump our bags. Mr. John, by the way, I would appreciate it if you didn't tell my boss that we're talking about like crypto and investments and stuff. We're supposed to be going over like customer etiquette and things like that. I'll just tell you, I'll give you the answers at the end of the seminar. Good deal? I'll throw you $20 as well. Okay. Coinbase unveils Super Bowl ad. It's literally like they say Coinbase at the very end. And I think that they say success or something like that. Or secure, that's what they say. It's the Backstreet Boys song. It's weird. I don't know. John said, November 7th, JJ, gonna go be married before you, bro. Congratulations, John. Where the hell's my invite? Cheers. Congratulations. That's very exciting. November 6th, actually, is my wedding. Wouldn't that be funny? Oh, man. Congratulations, though, for real. That's awesome. All right. Anonymous sender transferred 2.565 Bitcoin worth $181,000 to Satoshi Nakamoto's Genesis address over the weekend. Who could it be? That's pretty cool. I remember somebody sent like billions of dollars or something. I don't remember even where that was, but it was like the weirdest, creepiest, craziest thing. Everyone was like, what is this? This is a ritual, I believe, to send money to Satoshi. Kind of like a thank you or something like that. And they do it is basically burning the money. CIA is Satoshi Nakamoto, changed my mind. Surprised that hasn't happened more. It does, it happens all the time. But yeah, it's like a ritual. It's like paying your respects or something. So I don't know. Somebody sent a shit ton of money between now and last bull market. I remember when that happened. Everyone was like, "What is this?" Tether deploys stablecoin profits into 140 investments spanning agriculture to sports and plans to scale headcount to 450 per Financial Times. That's pretty cool. Lunar Entity said people adding to the Quantum Honeypot wallet, right? Yeah, dude, that wallet is just the ultimate hackathon reward. I don't know why. I see Michael Fassbender, and he looks nothing like Michael Fassbender. It might be the black shirt. I don't know. But that's pretty cool to see Tether giving back to the people. And last but not least, we got Kovic Letter Gold officially reclaiming 5K per ounce as silver rises back into $80 an ounce. Another wild week is ahead of us. Let's go. Where's gold right now as we speak? It is 5,015. Heck yeah. Oh my gosh. Jeez. $5,017.18. Silver up 4.1%. $81.13. We got NASDAQ looking good. Gold, silver, S&P. We looked at the Dow. Dominance 59.43. Bitcoin itself $70,641.71. Very nice. All right. We are supposedly, or so far, looks like we might be getting a bounce near the moving average on the RSI on Bitcoin. Let's go take a look. I want to look at total 3. Zoom out here. Go to the daily. 712.04 billion. All right. So it does look more like a reversal than we were oversold as well. I guess, can we get back above this trend line? Is this trend line even relevant? I don't think it is. Well, it's barely, yeah. So we've got point of confluence 1, 2, and then obviously 3, but we lost that support right there. So, question is, if we do continue down, are we going to find support anywhere else? 640 was pretty hefty resistance back here. So 640 where we did wick already, it looks pretty good for a potential. Let's see. 640, 0, 0, bam. Okay. Whoops. Okay. That looks good. As potential continued support. If that breaks, though, we're probably going down to 540. That's the head and shoulder attack, a target. Okay, I remember that. I do remember that. And that is based on shoulder, head, shoulder. Sorry, sorry the chart's so messy, guys. I don't want to get rid of all my lines because they seem relatively relevant, but who knows? Maybe we'll clean it up one day. We'll do some spring cleaning. But we were incredibly oversold here. We got all the way down to 20 and bounced back, and now we're dancing around with the idea. Look at that. We might be getting a bullish cross over that moving average, which will be the first time we were above that on total 3 since when? Since we broke below it, actually. Wow. Okay, so we were above it in January. So mid-January, we were above it and we eventually broke below it. So we're about to break it back above it, which would be very exciting. Let's go check total 2. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. Appreciate you guys for being here. Total 2, 962.36 trillion, or I'm sorry, billion. We actually lost 1 trillion. Damn. That sucks. All right, so we got a potential bottom actually right there. And that is based on, obviously, bounce number 1, 2, 3, resistance right there, support, support. Okay, I like that. Support back here. So that's huge. That 873, I'm going to call it 875 just for my brain. Can we hold that next? That would be the best case scenario. We were also incredibly oversold here. Can we get a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI? Green dot pointing to the upside. There's hope. I will say nothing more than the fact that there's hope. We also have incredibly oversold momentum wave on Market Cipher. About to climb out of oversold territory, but we'll see where that goes. A lot of indecisive. We are going on the 3rd daily indecisive candle. We are in the weekend, though, so those might just be weekend candles for total 2. Who knows? Let's go take a look at total crypto market cap. This one's one of my favorites simply because we have a very, very obvious prevailing pattern here. We've talked about quite a bit. I could probably delete all this. This is a pretty good one, though. But I'm not going to talk about it. We've talked about it 1,000 times. Basically, bottom line, TLDR, diversify your assets. And if you can't handle the risk for crypto, then you don't deserve the reward. But remember, if you do sell all your bags and it does moon, then you will do the math later. And you will realize that you missed out on potential life-changing money. And that's probably so much worse than just losing a couple grand. Not financial advice. That's me talking to myself. Whatever. John said, hundreds of aircraft back and forth to the Middle East might be a good time to buy oil. All right. Let's see. 2.37 trillion on total crypto market cap. This is total overall. So we've talked about this before. We've got 9-month bleed, 9-month climb, 5-month bleed, 5-month climb, 2-month climb, 2-month bleed. That 2-month bleed actually ended right here. And then we got a little attempt and then a failure, which broke down. So I don't know if this structure is just standalone, but it is definitely a head and shoulders setup potential. If that is the case, let's actually look at this as from a bearish standpoint possibility. I'm going to call that a head and shoulder, and I'm going to get a frugal target. Let's see if 1.82 holds. I want to see 182. Yeah. So let's see if 1.82 holds. That would obviously be our bottom from 2024 back here. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. And it's almost like putting a skewer through the mean of our last bull market. So let's see if that becomes relevant. Like I said, Oak Tree said I'm drinking juice water out of the tap water dispenser with my juice water reservoir. It tends to get a little bit leaky this time of year, so I'm making sure that I mighty mend it so that we don't have any juice water dripping out of the reservoir this season. Hell yeah. Mr. Non-Alien said duck race. Indeed. Cheers, my friends. Happy Sunday. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. I will say, RSI on this total crypto market cap definitely never been this bad on the daily. That's not true. It has been this bad once again, during the pandemic crash, which was a panic that was incredibly oversold and it got scooped up fast. Check this out. RSI level at 1617 right here. Same thing over here, 1617. That's the only time besides whatever this is, 2018 crash. So let's actually take a look at that 2018 crash. Yeah, look at that. So this one took how long to climb out of? 200 days? Okay, that took 200 days to climb out of. This one took 50, 60 days, so 2 months. So we will know in 2 months, by March, April, let's call it April, May, we will know if we are in 2018 or pandemic. Oaktree said, "You a legend, JJ." I appreciate that, Oaktree. Thank you so much. You are a very hard wood that people strongly desire to build their houses out of. Cheers. 2.38 trillion. Volume spiking on the downtrend. We are crossing bullish over the moving average on the RSI, which is exciting, but is it really that exciting? Incredibly oversold on the momentum wave on. Oh, are we good? Are we good? Oh, I think we're good. No way. Let's go. Okay. My internet's been a little bit funky. We did lose connection for a brief moment. I might get rugged. The stream might rug. If it does, just know that Tuesday, I think the modem is going to arrive. The router arrived. Apparently, it's not compatible. The guy said, "Oh, your modem is not capable of, like, it stops. It only goes up to 300 megabytes download." And I did a speed test, and it's at 475 right now. So he's full of shit. But their stupid modem is free because they owe me, because it's been like a decade. So they sent me a new one. Hopefully it arrives on Tuesday, and I can get whatever proper bullshit internet proprietary crap that they have. I don't know. The guy's full of crap. It just cracked me. He's like, "Well, it's not compatible." I'm like, "It's internet hardware. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not compatible." Mr. Roberts said, "Hey, JJ. Hey, good people. What's going on, Mr. Roberts? Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. We are back." Anyways, total crypto market cap, 2.38. Like I said, if we do get spicy here, look for 1.82 for a potential bounce. And that is for this being a potential monster head and shoulder pattern. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We've been looking at that for forever. Technically, the neckline would have been this bottom line, which we did break. We are on our way down. So that neckline, the frugal target for that is 182. The really, really bad top to bottom target, the spicy target, the target that nobody wants to hear, is in fact 1.3. We'll call it 1.4. What do we think of JJ's super cool albums? I am thinking, I'm not thinking we're in a bear market. I'm almost positive we're in a bear market ever since we lost the bull market support band. However, I don't think it's going to last as long as 12 months. I think that we are going to see us climbing out of this before October 2026. Don't quote me on that. It's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. However, if you guys are degenerate gamblers like me, sign up to Kalshi using the referral link, trade $25 or more. We both receive $25 in non-withdrawable site credit. It's a ton of fun, but it is degenerate gambling, so treat it as such. If you have a gambling problem, call somebody for help. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Crypto Fear and Greed Index from CoinMarketCap is at 9. That's pretty crazy. We went through all of the news already. I'm liking, there's two theories right now. The one is that Warsh is not actually going to be the Fed pick, that it's going to be this Judy lady. I don't know. I saw there was a video of Trump where they asked him like something Fed pick, and he's like, "Yeah, I met her," and blah blah blah, and then he started talking. He's like, "I'm gonna name them tomorrow," but he said her. So it would be very Trumpy to do a bait and switch. He's like, "Kevin Warsh," and then he's like, "Haha, never mind. I meant to say Judy." But it's also kind of stupid to think that. So the alternative is that Warsh is not going to be hawkish. These are both copium theories. So keep that in mind. It is like copium to the max. Like take a hit of that. It's like pure uncut, raw, unfiltered copium. Is that I forgot what I was saying now. Warsh is going to be dovish, and he's going to be like, ooh, let's cut rates and print money. So who knows? Mr. Roberts said, I don't want to say it out loud, but I also think the bear will be short-lived. I mean, we've gone down so hard, so fast, and the best indicator, there's no, like, nobody can say that this is not true because it is factual that we've gone down so hard and so fast, and it is actually displayed with this beautiful RSI being so ridiculously oversold at 15 or whatever. Let me go back to the news segment because I want to point out that one. That was a good one where the guy pointed out the RSI level. Right here. Nope, right here. Imagine turning bearish on Bitcoin at one of its historical RSI bottoms. Wake up. This is on the daily. Bitcoin is currently sitting at $70,000. It hits 62K. Oh, shit. I just closed all my windows over there. Damn it. Hang on. Give me 1 second. I fumbled that so bad. How did that even happen? My mouse got, like, stuck in the corner. Damn it. All right. We're good. We're good. We're back in business. Okay. Or let me switch back to live chat. All right. So, RSI, Bitcoin hit 62K right here. That candle body close, which if you are not aware, this where it says the letter or the number, the letter C, not the number, the letter C for close. That is what this candle closes at, whatever candle you're hovering over. This candle closes at $62,795. That RSI is at about 16. This guy pointed out 16, 15. Bitcoin lowest daily RSI level basically ever. When Bitcoin went to 3K all the way in between 2018 and 2020, that was an RSI of 9. When Bitcoin went down to 4K during the pandemic crash, that was an RSI of 15. Just recently, when Bitcoin went down to 62K during, I'm going to call it the 2026 dumperino, Bitcoin is at 15. What does that mean? It's only been this bad before or twice. So every time, by example, look at this. Epic recovery. Look at this one. Epic recovery. What do you think is going to happen here? Probably an epic recovery. Everyone's like, oh, the Fourier cycle, everything plays out the same exact way every single time. If that is the case, then the argument there is that it's going to play out the same exact way this time, and it's going to have an epic recovery. I'm just saying. The defense rests. Slam the gavel. All right. So that's exciting. We also got some great quotes. I want to read these quotes. We got a little more people here that probably weren't here earlier. From Walton Goggins. I mean, Peter Lynch, not Walton Goggins. He does look like him, you gotta admit. Joshua said, I like precious metals, but those boys are not treating Bitcoiners very nice right now. Oh yeah, the tribalism is crazy, dude. I think the tribalism is insane. I thoroughly enjoy precious metals as well. Silver looks beautiful right now. I'm liking this recovery. I really want this to do better. I want it to get back above 100. My only concern is that Silicon Valley, the tech bros, they're like, we can't have silver that expensive. So they're going to do whatever they can do to get silver cheaper for their stupid RAM and shit. Which, to be fair, I would like to not pay thousands of dollars to fix my computer. So it's a double-edged sword. I like precious metals pumping. I got a whole box of cool precious metals. I got some silver. I got some copper. Very proud of my copper collection, even though it's the cheapest. It's my poor man's gold. But yeah, there's too much tribalism, man. We gotta just be. We shouldn't be metal people or crypto people. We should just be investors. You know, we're people. At the end of the day, we're all people. I like my stocks. I like my precious metals. I like my crypto. Which one has made me more money? Crypto. But that's because I've spent a considerably larger amount of time in crypto. I just recently got into stocks and precious metals. So I'm assuming over time it's all going to even out. But who knows, man? Who knows? Cheers, guys. Happy Sunday. If you're new here, subscribe. Appreciate you guys for being here. especially on Super Bowl Sunday. All right. Yeah, gold and silver. I'm really excited for copper, man. Copper is going to be fun. I'm hoping that that thing goes crazy the way that everyone estimates it's going to. S&P is up 1.97%. Bitcoin dominance, struggling still. Bitcoin looking good. All right, let's go read this beautiful quote from this lovely gentleman. Far more money has been lost by investors preparing for corrections or trying to anticipate corrections than has been lost in corrections themselves. And if you genuinely pay attention, the average return, the average annual return for the S&P is, I think it was 14%, maybe 12%. But that's average annual. So if you just hold on to these assets, you might have to wait 3-4 years. Are you looking to retire in 3-4 years? If the answer is no, then just relax. Because 3-4 years is about the amount of time that it takes to enter and recover from like a proper recessionary pullback. That is your worst case scenario. So if your timeline exceeds 3-4 years, then you're set, man. You're all good. Joshua said, I buy Bitcoin daily. I don't care about the price. That's the way to do it, man. No, not financial advice. That's what I do. I'm not a daily guy. I'm a weekly guy. I got my weekly DCA. But just make it a part of your strategy and diversify. Diversity is your best friend. It is literally your best friend. Crypto sucks sometimes. When it sucks right now, I look at my precious metals. I'm happy about that. I look at my stocks. I'm happy about that. When everything sucks, I look at my stupid Pokemon cards. Happy about that. At the end of the day, we're all just degenerate gamblers. And it's a ton of fun. If you guys haven't already, join the Discord. Links in the description. It's completely free. It's a lot of fun there. I'll never try to sell you any crap. Except for like the shit in the description. That's not me trying to sell you something though. If you're interested in purchasing a stand-up desk or a freaking hardcover book by a brilliant investor, J.L. Collins, those links are in the description as well. If you don't want to pay for the book though, I'm not a book guy. I want to read, but it like dries my eyes out. The audiobook is free if you have Amazon Prime. It's by J.L. Collins, called The Simple Path to Wealth. I just want to read this quote. This is a brilliant quote. The Simple Path to Wealth. This is the TLDR. If you don't want to read or listen to it at all, this is the main takeaway. The 3 main ways to build generational wealth. The simple path to wealth. Avoid debt. Live on less than what you earn. And invest the surplus. Easiest way to do that, figure out your monthly expenses and make sure all of your monthly expenses. How much you spend on food, how much you spend on utilities, how much you spend on... That's basically it, food and utilities. Gas to get to work, and insurance. That's it. Figure that out. Figure out how much you make. If how much you make exceeds how much you spend, then you're in a good spot. If it's the other way around, your expenditures exceed how much you make, you got to either make more or spend less. And then when you have that gap, that surplus, invest it. Annual average return of the S&P 500 take you 25-30 years to become a millionaire, investing $100 a week. Just saying. Not a financial advisor though. All right, I asked you guys, is Warsh just a bait and switch by Trump? I'm going to end the poll. Is Warsh just a bait and switch by Trump? 35% of you guys said yes, all part of the plan. 29% of you guys said yes, Warsh is a psyop. 24% of you guys said no, this is Pete Copium. 12% of you guys said no, but he'll be a dove. We got 17 votes. You guys killed it on that poll. Mr. Robert said nice 511. I don't know what that means. 88 Metals Mania said LOL. That Pulse Player said, why you saying crypto is worthless and praising stocks a few days ago than JY's Adventure? What did JY's Adventure say? I'm a crypto guy. I like crypto. Only love this space. It's so hated by everyone, makes me love it. Yeah, I feel that way as well. When everyone loves crypto, I'll be done with it. It's pretty funny. All right. Bitcoin, $70,889.79. Let's see. We've been going for 95 minutes, an hour and a half. I suppose I should call it, right? XRP's up 1%. $1.44. Man, this thing's potentially coiled up, but the question is, which way is the spring going to burst? Silver's up 4%. Whew, that's crazy. I think I'm most excited for the ISM results. Obviously, we got expansion. Is this going to push into Bitcoin and crypto? Because we got Bitcoin having all-time high right here. We got Bitcoin second peak. We got Bitcoin third peak right here. So like expansion. This one wasn't even expansion. It was just growth. I don't know if it was anticipated expansion or something. And maybe you got a little fake out of the downside. And now we're like back up there. Maybe this was technically supposed to go like this. I don't know. It's just crazy to see. So it'd be cool to see if Bitcoin reacts to that. Because right here, this was last bull market. This was the bull market prior. Right now, the peak that we received on Bitcoin was this. So if this measures liquidity, then Bitcoin just did what it just did with little to no liquidity available, which is kind of crazy to think about. So now that we're in this explosive upside move, seeing a reaction out of Bitcoin based on that, it's going to be exciting. If we get a reaction at all, who knows? Who knows? Let's go back to the daily. We're a little bit messy here. Yeah, I'm going to be excited to see if this thing expands like crazy. RSI did get a bullish cross over the moving average on Saturday on the daily. Let's see if that pushes up as well. All right, ladies and fellas, I suppose I should call it an evening on this lovely Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm probably going to be maybe late-ish. Probably definitely after 6 p.m., maybe 7 or 8. Work schedule, getting a little tight. Finishing up a job, and it's a faraway job, so I gotta get up early and drive like an hour. So I'm gonna call it. As always, guys, when the market starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Sunday and good night.